Today we're at the Ash Creek Wildlife Area up near Bieber, California. CWA and a lot of partners at the state and federal level have spent a lot of funds over the last 6, 7, 8 years restoring and enhancing a lot of the habitat at Ash Creek. Our goal so far has been really to improve water efficiency for the wildlife area, improve brood habitat, improve growth of moist soil plants for waterfowl forage. And we've spent a lot of time and effort over the last few years doing that across the wildlife area. So today I'm excited to show you guys some of the units we've been working on and some of the great things that we're going to continue on building here at Ash Creek and some of the other state wildlife areas across Northeastern California. Part of the project process with CWA on these projects is trying to do more with less for a lot of the state guys running the wildlife areas. So what I mean by less is less water, making things more water efficient, and less operating budget usage. So really trying to fine tune a well-working machine here as far as the state wildlife area guys growing good food, using less water to do it, making things really efficient so we can improve the duck hunting and waterfowl wildlife area use for waterfowl and all other wildlife as well. A couple of units we've been really concentrating work on are the CWA pond units located here off Highway 299. We've been really disking those. A lot of undesirable plants been growing. Wiregrass in particular have taken over a lot of the units across the area. Part of the way to get rid of that and promote good waterfowl food like watergrass, swamp timothy, and smartweed is setting back that wiregrass by disking it. I know it's not the most popular thing for the hunters after the first year, but I think today we'll be able to show you, what we had versus what we have growing after it's been disked. Bear with us a little bit on that. The first year I know it can be a little muddy and tough to walk in, but we are improving things and we have really some of the benefits of the disking. CWA ponds are improved water delivery to the units, all new infrastructure, delivery ditches, really trying to get efficient with the state using what water resources they have, both pumped and riparian water rights to supply some of these wetland units with water. So far, we've done pipelines, we've put things in pipelines, removed and replaced failing water control infrastructure, concrete risers and pipe. A lot of the units we've gone through and installed water drainage and delivery swales, which really help the state managers to deliver and also drain wetlands quickly so they can promote and grow that moist soil vegetation for waterfowl forage. We also, not only we're just working on wetland units right next to the CWA ponds, the Wildlife Conservation Board we just finished up a grant to not only restore and enhance wetland habitat, but also improve upland nesting cover. So we purchased a lot of upland wheat, both spring and fall wheat seed to plant in the wildlife area's pivot acreage. We also, state duck stamp funds allowed for the installation of a brand new upland food plot wheat pivot installed, irrigation pivot. So we've really been working on the pivot upland nesting cover, upland forage, also here at Ash Creek. One of the other spots we've been working on a lot is the Bieber Creek units. Before we had project in there, it was pretty much just overgrown, couldn't really see water. There was a few little potholes. We really opened those up, dissed them, increased the footprint of the wetland habitat by creating potholes on the higher ground. We all were going to go in there and disc the wetland bottoms, trying to promote that moist soil response. Some state managers here have went in there after us and planted some moist soil watergrass forage, and the response has been amazing. One of the big components that was funded by the Wildlife Conservation Board was has almost a 2-mile long, 27-inch PVC pipeline. Prior to us coming in and putting in this pipeline, a part of a big artery, a water delivery artery for the wildlife area, ran through private property. A lot of it was leaking out. It was really cutting down on the wildlife area's ability to supply some of their wetland habitat with water. So this pipeline, we cut off the leaky portion on private property, got it directly where it needed to be, and we've really helped not only the leaking water on the state property, but the open delivery, the plants soaking up the water in these open delivery ditches really cut down on water loss, and we allowed that water to go a long way into flooding new habitat and enhanced habitat on the area. One of the new units we've just worked on this year was what I'm calling the house pond unit, right off 299. It's right off one of the wildlife area managers' houses. It was funded by the federal NACA program. It's all new construction this year, basically flooding dirt this year, but we did do some tule transplants. It's a brand new unit. It's about 35 acres in size, expanding the wetland footprint here at Ash Creek. It's seasonal wetland habitat, and I think it's going to be a really easy one for the wildlife area staff to irrigate and get some really good waterfowl food growing in the future. Right behind me here is the Tuscarora and beaver brood pond units. So a grant by the Wildlife Conservation Board in 2021 allowed us to come into these units. They were severely overgrown. They were always been managed as brood habitat for waterfowl here at Ash Creek, but over time they were completely overgrown, not much open water at all. So what we came in here and did, dissed everything up, re-leveled them out, create some really some swales and potholes that were going to be a couple feet deep that aren't going to grow in the tule and emergent cover as fast. And I think the response here, they've been flooded for a couple years now, and really we got a good mix of open water and emergent cover. Produced a lot of ducks the last couple years. These things have cranked out the mallards, and we're going to continue on with that with some new projects in the future. State Duck Stamp has funded a reverse cycle brood pond unit. We're going to be working on that next spring, summer. So we're trying to really ramp up brood production on some of these wildlife areas, Ash Creek and Butte Valley wildlife area, to crank out some more ducks and make it so they're not going to just grow in really fast and be tough for the wildlife area managers to manage for brood, permanently flooded habitat. Up on the north end of Ash Creek, the northeast side of Ash Creek wildlife area, historically they've been seasonal wetland habitats, wetland habitat acreage. Tough for the wildlife area to flood, tough for them to irrigate. We went in and re-leveled them out. So, they're within the elevational fall at this point is within 3 or 4 tenths of a foot, which is pretty flat from a wetland unit perspective. Going to be really easy for the guys to flood irrigate. Really easy to grow some good swamp timothy and watergrass smartweed in this year, or these coming years. We did some tule transplants to jumpstart some emergent cover within the units, so they're not just sheet water, open water. It's going to take a little while for that to get established, but I think we're really approved the habitat there and easier for them to flood. Again, we're doing more with less, trying to flood a larger footprint with less water by the leveling practices, and also cut swales and potholes, try to induce some diversity within the managed units, so you do have some deeper water components. You're going to get a different moist soil response in the pothole bottoms and swale bottoms versus the rest of the field grades of the units. So those swales are really going to help drive that water to the drains when it's time to drain the units to get that moist soil to germinate in the early spring, and also going to help with speed up irrigations, getting water to the lower end of the units first and backing it up versus spilling from the top end and taking water a long time to irrigate down through the units. And when it was doing that, we were growing a lot of wiregrass. It was kind of a slow process to irrigate some of those in the past during the summer, and we were growing a lot of wiregrass and plant moist soil vegetation that's not really conducive to waterfowl forage. So I think with the swales in the system now, it's going to really ramp up and improve the speed of flooding, speed of irrigation, and help long-term to improve habitat on the area.